Janine Pirro is a commentator and host on Fox News, and yesterday she did her usual opening statement, and this time it was quite easily the worst thing I've ever seen on news. Like, this isn't even close. Even for Fox News, this is just setting the bar insanely low for an already low bar. I'll just let you guys watch it, and there's so much wrong with this.
We now enter a new phase of the Trump presidency amidst the outrageous, outlandish, left-wing, chaotic mob behavior of socialist Democrats. American momentum is now around winning, the winning that outsider candidate Donald Trump promised us, not the anarchy Democrats, a.k.a. demon rats, want to impose on us. The tactics of these demon rats and Trump-hating leftists are backfiring. Americans are now buying into and choosing results over politically correct losing behavior of other presidents. When the New York Times, Bret Stephens, and the Wall Street Journal's Peggy Noonan, both dug-in Trump haters, say Senate Democrats not only overplayed their hand, but that Democrats are blowing it, you know they sense what's coming. And it's not the blue wave that the genius pundits predicted. They know they lost, not just the Kavanaugh fight, but the American people along the way. Americans don't like lies, injustice, and they certainly don't like vigilante or mob justice. The insanity that we witnessed by those suffering from Trump derangement syndrome is both shocking and unprecedented. From being tossed out of restaurants to being directed to harass, intimidate, confront, and make a crowd around anyone they don't agree with, they ramped it up even more during the Kavanaugh hearings, screaming, interrupting, shouting down senators, blocking them from voting, and that are attempting to block them from voting, and then in their feigned loser outrage, they claw on the doors of the United States Supreme Court as Kavanaugh is being sworn in. Americans are fair, and they've had enough. According to Real Clear Politics, Republican senators in key states have dramatically turned things around. Cruz, Blackburn, Heller, McSally, and demon rat Cory Booker, who is now the laughingstock of the Senate after likening himself to Spartacus, fell flat off his chariot. And they justify their behavior.
You cannot be civil with a political party that wants to destroy what you stand for, what you care about.
Hillary, other than power, cash, and Harvey Weinstein, and your own sexual predator husband, what the hell do you stand for? And take a listen to this one.
But Michelle says that, when they go low, we go high. No. When they go low, we kick them. That's what this new Democratic Party is about.
Really, Eric? You, a former Attorney General of the United States, condone violence? Someone who thinks beliefs and words justify physical assault? Did you even go to law school? Look, here's the bottom line. We're not even 2 years into Trump's presidency. The economy, record high. Unemployment, record low. Under President Trump, Americans saved $3.2 trillion in taxes. 3.3 million jobs have been created. The military is being rebuilt. 120 federal judges have been appointed. 2 United States Supreme Court justices, a much improved trade deal for the U.S. with Canada and Mexico. The stock market has hit historic highs 80 times. 81,000 illegal aliens have been deported by ICE. 15 hostages have been brought home from countries like North Korea, Iran, Venezuela, and of course, just today, Pastor Andrew Brunson from Turkey. So to all those Trump-hating demon rats and the mainstream media, keep up the antics. You're all losers. Sore losers, stupid losers, too dumb to even know that you're losing. He said it himself just a few minutes ago in Kentucky.
The only reason to vote Democrat is if you're tired of winning.
I don't know about you, but I'm not tired yet.
Wow, that was a lot to unpack there. That really read the vibes of something from like r/forwards from grandma, just like those old classic Facebook posts where they're like, "Oh, Obama, he's a Muslim communist. He's a communist." Just insane wackadoodle things like that. And that really just shows you how low Fox News has gotten in their blatant. It's not even like hidden anymore how they're trying to do propaganda. That was just flat out blatant propaganda. Like if some average Joe was to turn on the TV and watch that segment, they'd definitely realize that's one of the things that they'd look at and say, wow, Fox News is so conservatively biased. So I want to start out by just tackling the irony of what she said there by she was bashing the mainstream media for attacking Trump and talk about how the mainstream media is evil. She is a part of the mainstream media, though. I don't think she's trying to realize that Fox News is also part of this whole CNN, MSNBC, ABC mainstream media circuit that just supports these corrupt politicians who are for war profiteering and many other things that is against the progressive agenda, or even such as the libertarian agenda. But don't think she's trying to realize that, and she's trying to frame that as just a Democrat thing and make it partisan issue, when in reality both sides of the news anti-establishment waves are being targeted. So it's not really a Democrat Republican, it's an establishment anti-establishment thing there. Yeah, and her thing about Trump, her whole spiel about Trump's record, it's literally everything except the last one. Like, obviously, getting people out of countries that are hostages, that's obviously a good thing, so I'll give him credit for that. But literally everything else is just quite inaccurate or just inherently a bad thing, which is obviously why they're pushing propaganda. So the economy, the stock market's saying a high time, but that's kind of what happens, when you deregulate a bit. The stock market goes up for a bit, and then some financial crash happens. It's called a boom-bust cycle, and we're experiencing it right now. And there's plenty of examples in the past where that's happened. Most famous one is the 1920s, during the Roaring Twenties, which led to the Great Recession, or Great Depression, excuse me. Even worse, there's been plenty of other times, such as the subprime mortgage crash 2008, and then right after Reagan's deregulations. So there's plenty of precedent to see how this could actually backfire and is going to backfire, since there's plenty of bubbles, such as I know the car market's having a huge bubble right now, and so is student loans. That could just explode. And even the subprime mortgage area, again, as they're getting rid of many things, such as this year alone, they've gotten rid of Dodd-Frank in the Senate. They've essentially destroyed Glass-Steagall a long time ago. So they're getting rid of all of these regulations. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is being attacked, and yeah, they're just getting rid of all of these regulations that were in place to counter the Great Recession and make sure that would never happen again. But those who learn from history do not repeat it. So there's other things as well she talked about, like the illegal immigrants thing, cracking down, how ICE is she's trying to push the agenda that ICE is a good thing for America, when in reality they literally commit slave labor. That's true. How they've like locked up illegals and like made them do some work before they were deported. There's currently court cases going around that idea, and in general, not talking about the things Trump's done that are bad, such as all of his outlandish claims, such as climate change. I'm surprised, quite wondering why they didn't bring that up, seeing as how Trump's been just talking about how climate change, he's flipped from saying that it's a Chinese hoax to just saying it's a hoax in general, now saying it's real, but oh, it'll change back, when even his administration admits that climate change is real and man-made, and it's going to actually affect us heavily in the future, and it might be irreversible. So there's just some lies from omission, and the final thing is the trade issue of how Trump took NAFTA, which I think was quite fine. It made prices low for American consumers, and it just kind of didn't really do much with NAFTA. So the new trade agreement with Mexico and Canada. So I don't see what a real success was. And there were some even cash outs for like copyright laws. There was a thing there that was negatively affecting copyright laws. So the new NAFTA negotiations weren't a real success. There was barely any change from the old ones. And just her tone in general, touched on it earlier, just calling them demon rats is really literally the most childish thing I've ever heard from a news commentator, and quite honestly one of the most silly things I've ever heard to come out of like serious politics. That sounds like something that, your old grandfather who's really conservative would say about all of them demon rats. So I'm quite surprised of how low Fox News has gotten, and hoping that it really won't continue.